Welcome back to Nostalgia vs. Reality, where I play the games that defined my childhood, whether they've held up or not. Today, we're looking at the original PC version of The Sims, developed by Maxis and published by Electronic Arts in 2000. The Sims likely needs no introduction. The series has become the biggest selling video game of all time, spawning countless spin-offs, sequels, and expansion packs, but everything has to start somewhere. And this multi-billion dollar series started with a rather simple isometric game on the PC. When The Sims came out, its developer Maxis, and more directly its creator Will Wright, were already well known for games like SimCity, SimTower, SimAnt, SimCopter, SimFarm. You get the idea. SimCity was certainly the most successful out of all of these, and had been an enormous financial boon for the company, spawning several sequels. We had reached a point where any new game from this team was highly anticipated, and The Sims was no exception. With The Sims, Maxis went from the macro of designing and building your own city to the micro of managing just a single person or group of people in a small town. The Sims is, to borrow Will Wright's wording, a virtual dollhouse where you can play with little people to your heart's content. When you first start up with Sims, you're encouraged to complete the tutorial where they teach you how to play the game using a pre-created house and couple, Bob and Betty newbie. You learn how to walk around, interact with items and people, and buy stuff. Truly the essentials of modern life. After completing the tutorial, you can either choose to keep playing as Bob and Betty, something that countless players did, or you can choose to create your own family of Sims and move them into an existing house, or maybe build your own house, which will, at least in my case, inevitably look awful. And in these initial choices, we can already see what truly makes the Sims series so unique. You can do practically anything you want, albeit within the boundaries of the games, much like the dollhouse that the game was initially named after. Unlike a dollhouse, though, each of the little people that reside in the world of The Sims have their very own personality that you set while you're creating the characters. As the player, you can tell them to do things, but they'll often ignore those orders to do something especially dumb. Of course, you don't have to order your Sims to do everything. There are several different ways that people commonly play The Sims, and micromanaging each member of your household is just one of them. However, if you do micromanage each member of the household, chances are you will rapidly become rich, because in the first Sims game, your Sims do not grow old and die as they do in the newer games. You will eventually be rich beyond your wildest dreams, and there is sort of an end game where you buy the most expensive house and there's nothing really left for you to do. And perhaps that is the biggest problem with the original Sims. There is an endgame, a point at which the game ceases to be fun without buying the latest expansion pack. There is no aging, death, or multi-generational families, features that would become crucial in subsequent games and add a significant amount of playability to the base game. The fact that there are still new Sims games coming out make the original title extremely difficult to review within the lens of nostalgia. EA continues to put out a game that is, for all intents and purposes, very similar to the original, with a ton of improvements, sure, but basically the same game. And having spent some time with the latest Sims 3 expansion, Into the Future, the original Sims just feels outdated. That said, if you ever stumble upon a copy of The Sims at a garage sale or something, pick it up. It's absolutely worth looking at. The Sims was revolutionary when it came out, and it's still interesting historically. But if you're going to play a simulation game with people in it today, play one of the newer Sims.